everyone, it's Robin the Delta Crafter, and I want to thank you for joining me for another video on my YouTube channel. Today I have the honor of collaborating with Spellbinders for their Winter Garden release. This is a brand new release of several different products, and I'll be showing you just a few of them today. Let's get started. This is the Flourished Tree hot foil plate from Spellbinders, and this is a part of the Winter Garden release. I absolutely love all the scroll detail that's in this tree. I'm also going to be using the Holiday Sentiment Series 2 hot foil plates. This is an older set, but it's a great basic sentiment to have for the holidays. I have a piece of gold foil and a piece of red hot foil that I'll be using on this card today. To add some color to my background, I'm going to be bringing in my Gansai Tambi 36 count watercolor set. I'll also be using that watercolor set on a piece of Canson XL watercolor paper, and I'm going to have a slanted brush that has a pretty wide tip and a cup of water. So the first thing that I want to do is get everything set up and prepped. I'm going to do what's called a wet on wet technique for my background. So what that is you're going to wet your paper, and you're going to bring, of course, the wet paint to your paper. So your paper is wet and your paint is wet. So I'm just going to cover my piece of watercolor paper with some clear water to just get it ready to receive the ink. So what I was going for this background was kind of an ombre effect of different shades of green. So in that fourth row, I'm going to be using all 4 shades of that green watercolor paint to go down and create an ombre effect on my background piece. So you can see here I've added 2 colors. I'm coming in with the 3rd color, and each time I add a new color, I just want to make sure that I'm overlapping and blending in to the previous colors. So I'm adding my 4th and final color of watercolor, getting a good coverage of that. And as always, I want to go back and kind of freshen up my colors and add a second coat to just make sure that I intensify that color and that it's to my desire and liking. So I'm going to bring in my heat tool, not so much as to dry the paper, but more so to kind of dry my paint in place so that it doesn't continue to blend and mix. I want to maintain that ombre that I've created, and so I'm just going to hit it just slightly to stop the inks from moving. So now it's time to move on to the hot foiling. I brought in my Glimmer machine, which is a hot foil system from Spellbinders, and this I've allowed it to warm up for a little bit. You can see that second light, which is the green light, is solid. That means that the machine is warm and ready to go. So I'm going to hot foil the Christmas tree with some red foil, and I'm going to measure out the foil to make sure that I get complete coverage of this Flourished hot foil plate. So once I have my foil measured up, I'm going to just cut it with some scissors and get ready to hot foil my tree. The paper that I'm going to use for my hot foiling is some Nina Classic Crest Solar White in the 80-pound weight. I'll have all the products that I'm using today listed and linked on the coordinating blog post for this video. So I've laid down my hot foil. I've put the pretty side down against the plate. I've put my piece of paper on, and now I've put my 2 shims on top of the sandwich that I've created. I've hit my button, and you saw where it was flashing before, but now that third light rather is solid. That means that your hot foiling is complete. I'm going to take the entire sandwich, including the platform, over to my platinum die cutting machine, and I'm going to run it through, and that's going to press the hot foil into my paper. Now that I have it back, I'm going to reveal the hot foiling by peeling back the foil, and you can see the beautiful flourished tree results that I was able to achieve. I absolutely love this hot foil plate. I think it'll look great in any hot foil color, but I really like it in the red. I had a little bit of overfoiling, and that's nothing that a mono sand eraser couldn't take care of. So I'm just going to hit hit my foiling in a couple of spots and clean up that hot foiling and make it nice and pretty. So now I've plugged my platform back in so it can reheat, and now I'm going to work on my sentiments. This is where I'm going to be using the Holiday Sentiment Series 2 hot foil plates. And I'm not quite sure which sentiment I want to use, so I'm actually going to hot foil several different sentiments while I have the machine up and running. Any of the extra sentiments that I have left over I can use on future cards. These are great to have in a little stash on the side so that when you're in the need to make a quick card, you have some things already ready to go. I'm going to repeat the process that I used to create the Flourished tree for the sentiments and layer everything up and hit my button, let it run through, take the sandwich, including the platform, over to my platinum die cutting machine, run it through, press that hot foil into the paper, and we're going to be able to reveal what this looks like. We're going to peel that foil back, and let's take a look at our hot foiling now. So with these sentiments, I love the results, but I did get a little bit of extra overfoiling, more than I did with the Flourished tree. So I'm going to hit these sentiments with that mono sand eraser, and then I'm going to brush away any of the extra foil that was flaked off. Off camera, I went ahead and cut out my Flourished tree and my sentiment. I used the set of nesting circles to cut out my tree because I wanted to make sure that I had all the parts of the tree. I didn't want to cut it off, so I used a pretty big circle for that. I'm going to pop up that tree as well as our watercolor background with some foam tape. To create my top folding card base, I've used a piece of accent opaque cardstock and 120-pound weight. This is going to be a great weight to support the elements that I'm going to be adding to the card. So I'm sticking my watercolor background down to the card base. And now I'm going to place our hot foiled Flourished tree onto the card base as well. I really think that having this white space between the watercolor and the tree gives your eye a place to rest, and it just really brings the whole entire card together. So again, the sentiment I did die cut with the included die that comes with that hot foil plate set, and did that off camera. And now I'm going to place a foam strip on the back of the sentiment to pop it up on top of the Flourished tree. These little foam strips really make it easy to pop things up, pop up your sentiments on your cards. So after adding the sentiment, I felt like the card just needed just a little bit more something added to it. So I'm going to add some Studio Katia gold foil pearls to different places around the tree. These gold pearls come in several different sizes, so I'm going to add various different sizes to the tree. Using my jewel picker, I'm able to pick up the pearls and place them where I want, all scattered around the tree. And then I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue to secure these pearls to the tree. Having the right tool for the job that you want to do makes a big difference. It makes creating your cards efficient, and it keeps the joy in creating. For me, it does anyway. So I'm just gluing down that final pearl, and with that, this card is complete. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this video on my YouTube channel. As previously mentioned, all products that I use today will be listed and linked on my blog post that coordinates with this video. If you have liked it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I'd love for you to become a part of the Delta Crafter family. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at The Delta Crafter and at my blog, thedeltacrafter.com. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy!